Well, I think you maybe have set the record for best weather for first day of spring practice ever. Maybe feel, but just, overall, getting out here, what was kind of the vibe? What'd you like? What'd you kind of dislike on day one?
Yeah, I thought the urgency, the excitement of practice is always high on day one. The biggest thing is just making sure our guys are applying the right technique and executing at a high level. Those things get better with more practices, but overall, the excitement, the urgency to play together and be able to focus for what was 24 periods today, which is a longer practice for us.
What were there a couple guys you felt like really stood out, maybe not even from a performance, but from a leadership, kind of an energy standpoint?
You know what? Devin Ellison stood out from a performance standpoint. Overall, there's some of the older guys at the O-line, Hilborn and Brock Dew. Those guys kind of set the pace at the O-line position. And then on the defense end, Tucker Large and Caleb Francel, obviously they've been in the system, so they kind of understand it. But it comes with time and it comes with execution. So we just need to get reps under our belt.
How important is it to get the most out of now 14 practices remaining, because it's such it feels like, it's a month and a half, but really there's only so many days you're out here on the field.
Yeah, I think it's pivotal. Every rep matters, whether you're taking it live or whether you're watching it. You got to grow. And this whole preparation of 15 practices is huge. It's kind of how you lead into the summer. Biggest thing is staying healthy. I think every coach would tell you the most important part of spring ball is that you leave healthy, that you can go into summer and feel good about what you've accomplished, and then you got to take another step in the summer. So we got quite a ways to go.
When you judge a practice after seeing it out here on the field, what in your head are you looking for what constitutes a good practice or a good day of work out here?
That's a good question. For one, the urgency, the desire to want to be out here, because you'll see naturally over, practice 13, the excitement is kind of somewhat lost, and it's important to try to come out here with the right energy. The focus, the communication, the willingness to finish every single play, all of those things matter. And then that we continue to improve technically. You don't see that as much. Those are the things, that the fine details that you see on film. But I would say that the urgency, the communication, the willingness to finish plays, and the collectiveness as a group.
This is an earlier start to spring ball than this program is used to. What's your reasoning behind starting so early, and what advantages does that give you?
I think you have to plan around the transfer portal these days. And the transfer portal opens a couple days after April 12th, and that's the Saturday in which we chose for the spring game. So, yeah, there's tough conversations that are going to have to be had, and these guys got to compete in the spring right now. It also allows us to get our feet underneath us before we go out and go spring recruiting, which will be pretty huge.
Obviously, you've been here for a couple months, recruiting and running workouts, but how did it feel to be out here in the sun and to be coaching these guys through some football plays?
Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, we've had a little bit of prep going into this, and I felt like, we're knocking the cobwebs off of how to practice in this system, because they're kind of used to, some of these guys that have been here for a while are used to a certain style of practice. So just getting them used to that, and every day, just like the workouts, they'll continue to improve. Where we started off day one in the system of, weight training was different than what they were used to, and a week into that, they then took huge steps, and so I expect to see that on the field as well.
With spring ball, just, overall, big picture, like what are the biggest things you want to get out of these next, 14 practices?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to try to develop the two deep and try to figure out where you're at, where you need to improve positionally, what you have as far as depth, how to recruit to that depth, and then just build a spirit and an attitude of a team. Because what you do and how you end spring ball is, how you're starting the summer. And we got to come into summer, ahead. And we got to continue to prepare through the summer and not waste that time, because fall camp will be on us quickly, and that feels like a lifetime away right now, but I know in a blink of an eye we'll be here.
I was wondering about Angel Johnson and Keith Brown out with injuries. Are you thinking they'll be back for spring ball at some point? Or
Angel won't be. Keith will be. Keith will be back after spring break. His is just holding him out. He's an older player that's kind of been through this and knows the system. He's done a really good job as far as leading. I think he would have stood out. You asked earlier who would have from a leadership standpoint. I think he's had great energy along the way.
Coach, was there anything that surprised you today about practice or about this group of guys?
I don't know if it surprised me. This is day one, so it's new for everybody. I'm not sure what they're used to, right? So it's me witnessing them practice for the first time. And overall, there was good urgency, and it's just trying to get the lay of the land of how we practice and how we operate and how we move from period to period and making sure that they don't get lost. And every day that we do it and they see the system of how we practice, then we'll get better.
Coach, this might be a little bit in the weeds, but when you are making a practice plan, do you make it with the goal of, okay, here's what we need to accomplish, and so this is what we're going to do, or do you look at what the guys are doing and make the plan saying, like, we need to work on this? Basically, I guess what I'm asking is, like, do you make a practice plan with an end goal in mind, or more just focusing on what you've seen recently?
Yeah, I think it's important early on that you get the guys a good amount of reps to get their, this is just base plays, base install. This is just the flow of a practice. As we get moving towards the second week of spring ball, which will come after spring break, it will become a little bit more situational. When we get to the third week, it becomes more personnel based, and there's a little bit that goes into it more than just running plays to run plays. We're not going to come out here and just kill the grass and stand around and just continuously do the same exact thing. But right now, it is just the fundamentals of how to practice, getting their feet wet with the defense and just learning a new scheme, and same thing with the offense, and we'll go from there. But as far as how we move inside of practice, everything is built to where you do one-on-ones before 7-on-7, you do individual before you do any form of team. All of that is planned out like that.